Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 4 really delicious ground beef recipes. We have been eating a little bit more ground beef lately, so I have so many awesome recipes to share with you. I cannot wait. If you're new to my channel, make sure you click subscribe. I love making all these cooking videos for you, so click subscribe, click the bell button next to subscribe so you get a notification when I post new videos. Let me show you these really 4 awesome ground beef recipes.
So this first ground beef recipe that I am sharing with you is going to be a casserole, but I'm going to brown all of the ground beef first before I assemble it into my casserole with all of the other ingredients. But I'm just breaking it up with my meat masher. I love using this little meat masher for ground beef and ground turkey. It just breaks it up really well. So I'm going to drain all of the grease. I'm just going to kind of push it to one side of my pan and try and move the ground beef out of the way. And then I'm just going to kind of, I'm going to put a paper towel in and sort of mop up the grease with the paper towel. I find that this is a really easy way to get all of the grease out of the pan. For me, I actually learned this trick on YouTube from a YouTube cook that I follow, and it has just been wonderful. I do it this way ever since. I have half a cup of diced up yellow onion. I'm going to use a packet of taco seasoning. This casserole, it has quite a kick with all of the flavor. So the taco seasoning, onion, I'm going to use a can of diced tomatoes with green chilies. I love getting the Rotel tomatoes with green chilies. So good. Really great for any kind of Tex-Mex dishes. So I have black beans that I will wash and drain, a whole can, and then I'm going to use a can of corn as well. I will drain the corn before I add it in to the mixture. I'm going to give all of this a stir and just mix all of the ingredients together. Really tons of flavor, like I mentioned, and so good. So this is going to have also some cheese in it, half a cup of Fiesta blend cheese, and a cup of sour cream. This is going to make this so nice and creamy. I'm going to mix all this around before it goes into my casserole dish. But once this is in my casserole dish, I'm going to top it with Doritos. So this is a Dorito Mexican casserole, and it is really good. I'm using the nacho cheese Doritos because we had some left over. I don't buy Doritos a lot for our family, but my kids really like them. But we try not to keep food like that in the house too often. But with these leftover chips, I had to make this casserole. It is really so good. But spreading out all of the mixture, I will add on a little bit more shredded Fiesta blend cheese, and then I will crush up the Doritos and add them on top. I'm going to bake this in the oven. It doesn't take long, but my oven is preheated to 350 degrees. And I'm going to cook this for 15 minutes just to get the chips nice and crispy and have all of the flavors combined. But I love how casseroles make a big serving. You can definitely serve this to a crowd. You can have leftovers, but it is a really good casserole. Like I said earlier, tons and tons of flavor. So really good. You can use the Cool Ranch Doritos also. Just a little bit of a different flavor, but really good. Definitely a hit with our family. Just loved the spiciness to this one. Really good. And super easy also. So for this one, I'm going to be making a homemade hamburger helper. So I am cooking up my ground beef once again with my meat masher, and I am just breaking it all into small pieces. And I used to love hamburger helper growing up as a kid. My mom used to make it. And so I wanted to make this homemade hamburger helper version to share with you. And this is another recipe that is really good and always easy. You know, all my recipes are always super easy. I have 2 cups of beef broth, and I have 2 tablespoons of flour to kind of thicken this up a little bit. I'm going to add in some seasonings as well. I'm going to have garlic powder and onion powder. I'm I'm gonna whisk all of this together, whisk the flour so it makes a nice little bit thicker, creamier sauce. But I'm going to, after it's all whisked together, I'm going to bring this to a boil. And now that it is all boiling, ready to go, I am going to add in, I have tomato sauce, 1 can of tomato sauce, and then I am going to add in the noodles at this point. And I am using little elbow noodles, and you can use small shells also if you'd like, but I already had these, but they're perfect for kind of like a mac and cheese type. So perfect for this hamburger helper, homemade hamburger helper. So I am just mixing all that together. I'm going to put the lid on for about 10 to 12 minutes, let the noodles cook, and then I will be ready to add back into the ground turkey or the ground beef that I already cooked up in this pan earlier. So I'm going to give this a stir, and this has really, really awesome flavors. It is very delicious. So I'm adding in my 1 pound of ground beef, and I have 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. And I like to shred this cheese myself from a block of shredded cheese, from a block of cheddar cheese. It just melts a lot easier. I'm adding in a cup of heavy whipping cream. And this is going to just mix perfectly, and it's going to be super cheesy and creamy and really, really yummy. Like I said, tons of awesome flavor. This is a huge hit with our family. I'm going to make a meatloaf with this. So I have onion soup mix, which is one of my favorite things to use for a bunch of different recipes. But I have 2 pounds of ground beef, and I have 1 packet of onion soup mix. And I have this kind of like breadcrumbs, and you can use regular breadcrumbs if you like, but I have this already in the bag, these coating crumbs. So I'm using this, and they're really good, lots of good flavor. I have 2 eggs, and then I have some ketchup as well, half a cup of ketchup. I'm just going to mix all of these ingredients together, form a loaf, and this meatloaf is, I just love meatloaf. It is super good. I actually also have some mashed potatoes cooking in the crock pot. I love doing mashed potatoes in the crock pot. It's super easy. So tonight, that's what we'll have. We're going to have this meatloaf with mashed potatoes as well. Just a really good combo. Meatloaf, it's great. It's very hearty, very filling, and we just like to have a lot of filling meals to keep my growing boys nice and full, and they are growing like weeds, so I have to make lots of meals in our house to make sure that they are eating enough food, especially for all the activities we have going on. Definitely want to make sure that they are eating well. So I have my loaf, and then I'm going to add on ketchup on the top, and I will brush this on. So meatloaf takes a little bit to cook. This is going to take about 45 to 55 minutes. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees, and then this will be a delicious dinner. So this next recipe I am sharing with you is going to be a shepherd's pie. I love shepherd's pie, and since I just made the mashed potatoes in the crock pot, I had a bunch left over, so I'm going to be using that for this. I'm browning all of the ground beef just like I did in the past couple recipes, but browning it up on the stove, cooking it all the way through. So I'm going to add in this brown gravy. I already drained the grease from this one. but I have 2 cups of gravy, just used a packet of gravy mix. I have peas and carrots. So I'm gonna do 1 cup of frozen peas and carrots. This is super easy. Going to give this all a mix. And you can use ground lamb, is very popular in shepherd's pie, but I'm doing all of these ground beef recipes and it is just as good with ground beef also. I love it. So I'm gonna add in the mixture to the bottom of my casserole. And then I will add on top the mashed potatoes, and I'm gonna cook this in the oven, and it's so good. It's got a whole meal in one. You have your meat, your veggies, your potatoes. It's just all together in one dish, which is pretty awesome. So this is super good. Just adding the potatoes on top. Bake this in the oven for about half an hour and dinner is ready. Super easy, delicious, another hearty meal with ground beef. I just love ground beef. We've been eating a lot more lately, trying to mix it up a tiny bit. We eat a lot of chicken, so trying to add in a little bit more ground beef here and there. So I really hope you enjoyed these ground beef recipes. I will definitely be making some more in the future, so make sure you subscribe to my channel. Lots of meal planning and lots of fun dinners for you to make. I hope that you have a really great day. I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.